creating a new me, creating a new belief, and just changing. I'm living in the vision. I'm living in the mission now. I'm excited. I've got 25 shareholders in there right now.
Nice.
We'll probably grow that to maybe 40 shareholders. I'm here to prove myself that I can be something.
Welcome back to the Macro Show. I'm joined here today with Jamie Fraser. We're going to go through and explore his relationship with money. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you, man.
Perfect. So my name's Jamie Fraser. So like I said, thanks for having me. I am a lot of things, but call me a tech consulting entrepreneur. Come from nothing. I speak across various different countries now. I travel a lot. I've got a very successful business. I grew the business from nothing to being one of the best at what we do. And yeah, like my Instagram page blew up. I motivate people and inspire people across the globe. And it's just by being genuine. So everything that you're going to see in this podcast today is going to be the truth, no bullshit approach, straight talking, exactly what I've done to change my life around. Because, you know, you want to talk about me as a kid. I've changed drastically.
Yeah. So the truth from him, I'm a lie a lot. No, I'm kidding. But awesome, man. Love that. So yeah, let's just, get right into it. So I guess as earliest as you can remember, was money something that was discussed in your household? Or really, I guess even before that, how did you grow up? Were you better off? Were you worse off than your peers? Let's start there.
No, I was born into nothing. My nan and granddad were millionaires. Left my dad a lot of money. My dad blew it in the space of 2 years.
Wow.
But not while he was with me and my mum and my brothers and sisters. So we didn't see none of it. We was left a lot of money, me and my brother. But we didn't see a penny of it. And I was always like resentful of that. I was like, oh, life could have been so much easier. And I always used to blame. I blamed a lot of my situation, of what I've gone through, lots of challenges and hardships and failures and adversity. But I think more in the last 18 months, I've just been super grateful for it. But I was born into nothing. Mum was always on the move. My dad was always on the move too, in terms of not having the money to pay, and the list goes on. And it was a struggle. My mum, was a single mum at the end of the day. She had to fight for a house. She went to court. She done everything that she could possible to keep a house over our heads. And I watched it from being a baby to where I am now.
Yeah. So how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I've got 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Were they older or younger?
2 older, 1 younger.
Okay, so you were kind of the younger. Do you feel like your older siblings kind of stepped in and kind of like helped guide you as well, or were you all kind of doing your thing?
When my dad let me down, I said this in my other interviews before, I took ownership of my life.
Yeah.
I don't look up to anyone else. I don't rely on anyone else. No one has ever supported me to get in the position I'm in today. And my mum has guided me, and she's kept me on track, when I've gone through some problematic years, should we say. But everything was on my shoulders. And I feel like my older brother, right, we're similar age, but the way I am, sometimes people think I'm the older brother,
Yeah.
And he's not immature by any means stretch, but just the way that we come across and whatnot.
Did you feel that like pressure when you were a kid to step up in that way, or was it like looking back, you kind of saw that you did?
Not necessarily, right? Because I was struggling, I saw a lot of things that my dad did, and it affected me quite a lot. How he was to me, how he was to my mom. He took a lot out of me. He took a lot out of my mom. I saw a lot. So I was affected. I was very fragile at the same time. I went from, I just had this whole document drew up about me. It went from a whole of my life. And I went from someone who used to smile to have my smile just get wiped away. And that was because of my dad. And I've come back to a person now just being super grateful and smiling a lot more now. And but I was very fragile mentally for years. So I couldn't step up. And that was probably another problem. And I've always thought, like, where's my life going? My mum thought, where's my life going? And I took my confusion in my head out in the wrong ways. I was getting in trouble with the police and the law time and time again. I'm like, it worried my mum. I was a problematic kid in the end.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that. So a thing that I see, like when I talk to people, is as we get older, we're almost like combating like our childhood, right? Do you feel like, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but do you feel like you spent a lot of time trying to combat kind of where you started in life, and that's kind of ended up being a primary driver for a lot of the decisions that you made?
You know, I've always had this question, like, why me? Always had this question of like, why? I've had a lot of great things happen in my life, and I question why has that happened? Why have I had the opportunity to do that? And there's a lot to it, because I speak to a lot of experts in all kinds in different areas, but I do always question that. And I'm you know, I had this, even like I went through a big path around just questioning myself. And, you know, I'm collating all of the feedback from all these great experts that I work with. It's just like, yeah, shit has happened and things have happened in my life that has made me and built me up to who I am now. I used to blame a lot of my past, and now I respect my past, because if my past didn't happen and I did get loads of money from my nan and granddad, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'd probably be a person that spent a bit of money, didn't work hard, didn't get in trouble with the police, and the list goes on. That's created who I am. And who I am today is someone who's just ruthless in every way possible in terms of business, lifestyle, you name it. And I'm just like tunnel visioned of where I want to go.
What's the worst trouble you ever got in?
I got put on a curfew for 9 months when I first set up my business. So I was in house arrest, yeah, and I couldn't leave the house. And it was just an accumulation of things. I must have been arrested like 8 times to get to that point. And it was like, okay, you either go in prison or you got to go on a curfew. And my solicitor thought,
obviously, curfew, yeah.
it she helped me out, right? So, but that was like the turning point of like, I'm not getting in trouble no more. Like the smallest things. If I went to prison for what, 9, 10 months, I want to be where I am now, you know? So,
were you like kicked out of school or anything like that? Or
yeah, I didn't finish school. School with me didn't go. Like, I don't like learning. You know, I've never read a book, for example. It's not how I do things. I'm very like energetic. You know, I hate going to sleep, for example.
Wait, you've never read a book?
Never read a book, not one book.
How do you like acquire knowledge?
I self-learn.
Okay.
I've looked at YouTubes of some great people that I like their styles. They weren't my role models. I don't have role models. And then I had a switch in my mindset of when I got my first job at what I do, I got rejected by so many companies. And I said to my mum one day, I was just like, oh, you know, this is not for me. Sales not for me. And she was like, keep on going. And I just got into my head that, okay, if the next person gives me a job, which they did, I'm just going to zone in and just learn and soak it in and just prove that I can actually be someone, as my mum said I could. So building up, you naturally start developing your experience and knowledge and mindset of wanting to learn more. When I set up my business, I never set up a business before, never had a business plan, never had anything like that. Never had a business bank account, nothing. But I learned as I went. And then I started understanding how can I self-learn and master different areas of my life, which then I started getting into personal development, mindset, growth. And then I got to a point where I just started paying for the best experts in the industry. I didn't care how much it costed me, you know, and I just learned from the best. And that's how I learned. Tell me what to do, I'll just go and do it.
So when you start, so you went from essentially your father had kind of squandered that small fortune. Yeah. And that kind of put you on this path of, you said initially resentment.
Yeah.
So how did you go from like that initial resentment, trouble with the law, like what was the decision and the thought that you had at the time that actually got you to take that leap to starting your first business, right?
To start my first business, I'd done very well within my previous company, which was the same industry. I got told I wouldn't be good at sales in my first internship, so they wouldn't extend my internship for 3 months. Wouldn't be good at sales. I then thought, okay, let me try another company. Interview. 30 interviews, got rejected.
Yeah.
Mum told me to keep on going, got that job. And I affirmed that in my head, that belief that I'm going to get this job, I got that. And then it was just like a refuse to lose attitude. I'm going to make something out of myself. I'm not going to have 30 companies tell me no. My first job that I've ever had tell me I won't be good at sales. And I wasn't, I was nervous. Yeah. I had no self-esteem. You know, I wasn't confident or anything like that, because my dad knocked me down with all of that for years.
Yeah.
So, and I just went on to be #1 in my company, #1 in Europe. And then I was 22 years old, and everyone was like, why on earth are you working for someone? Because I was so obsessed with earning money in the end. Yeah. So obsessed with like, I just fucking love this, you know? And that's when my confidence comes. People ask me, oh, you went from a starter to being confident. How'd you do that? Recognition. Like literally. So that's why I was like, bam, this is my time. I'm going to do this better and bigger than anyone.
Yeah. So how old are you now, by the way? You said 22?
31.
31? Wow, I'm older than you. That's crazy. I'm 33. Make me feel old, man. But no, I get that. So what was the reasoning for you not being good in sales? Because like talking to you now, like you seem like, yeah, throw this guy in any sales job, he'll kill it, right?
I was just so nervous. I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
I was mentally, I just had issues, a lot of issues I was suffering with mentally from my dad. Like my dad was a bastard. It's as simple as that. And I was suffering like.
How did you actually deal with those at the time then, right? Because I feel like for a lot of people watching this, and that's kind of why I like doing the show this way. A lot of people relate to having like the trauma or the struggle, right? And then it's like, how do you actually go into taking that first step, right? So did you actually go and address those traumas? Did you talk to a therapist, or were you just like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna just try?
Yeah.
And that was the thing that kind of helped you solve those issues.
So I channeled my anger in the wrong way at the start.
Yeah.
School, police, just everything. I was such an angry person.
Yeah.
My stress was through the roof. I took it out in the wrong ways, like generally did, and I've done some bad things. But I don't regret it.
Yeah.
I don't regret anything. And that's like channeling my anger and just sheer drive into just being amazing at what I do.
Yeah.
It was like, I spoke to my PT earlier today and was talking about obsession. Is obsession bad? I don't think obsession is bad if you channel it in the right way. And I channeled my anger and aggression in the right way, which is I'm going to create something out of myself now. And look, I went still years of getting in trouble, still years of being angry. And when I set up my business, I started working with a therapist because I was doing well. I was earning money. I had my first business at 22. Things were going great.
Yeah.
You know, I earned my first million at 23. That's all great. Everyone would love that. But my head wasn't clear. I had lots of blockages inside me in my head. I was scarred in many different ways. And then it was just like a person will walk past me and just touch me slightly, bam, I'll fly off the handle.
Really?
You know, it was that bad at some point. I just said, I can't do this no more. So I was making myself sick because of how angry and stress I was getting. So yeah, I've gone through a massive journey of just creating a new me, creating a new belief, and just changing.
So it's safe to say, yeah, I mean, we know that money won't solve all our problems, right? So money solves your not having money problem.
Yeah.
But also you said like you were very angry. And so, you know, having a therapist, do you think had you not gotten a therapist at that time that you'd be as successful as you are today?
No, because I was just like work.
Yeah.
16, 17, 18-hour days, did not care.
Were you hesitant to get a therapist? I feel like a lot of men in particular are.
A lot of men are. And I preach about it on my Instagram. And I used to think therapy was weird. Meditation was weird. Breathwork was weird. I thought all of it was weird. Yoga was weird.
Yeah.
And my therapist said to me, she wasn't like an actual therapist of like, go have a glass of water and breathe. It wasn't like that. It was, we're changing the way that you think and believe about things. We're changing you from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. And she said, how many hours do you work? I said, 16 to 18 a day. How many days a week? 6 days a week. Okay, cool. How much do you work on you? An hour probably. Eat. So if your body is the machine, is the vehicle for everything you do, being focused, alert, energy, all of it, why are you not reinvesting more into you? I was like, changed it. Yeah, I do 5 hours on me every single day. I work with some of the best coaches in the world. And I said in a recent podcast, I wouldn't be where I am today, alert, focused, determined, positive, resilient, etc., if I didn't work on me. And it's completely changed the way I think. I've rewired my whole brain to believe and think a certain way now. And you know, you speak to anyone in my industry, they'll tell you the sort of mindset I have and the sort of success I've had. And that hasn't just come from being good at the job. I was a broken child at one point.
Yeah.
I've done it because I've invested so much into me.
So did you ever, I guess, reconcile like your relationship with your father, or is that an ongoing, or just not at all?
I did like a healing, people might believe in this, people don't, but I try everything to make me a better person.
Yeah.
And I did like this 4-week healing, call it a course, call it whatever you want, but with this expert I got recommended into. And a lot of it was about breaking traumas and breaking issues and healing yourself with certain techniques, from sound bath to meditation to just techniques that they have from a spiritual way and holistic way. And one of the things was basically meeting my father in the strategy that I was given, and either forgiving him or confronting him. I had to confront him, and I just burst out crying.
Yeah.
And I think that released a lot of pain, because they wanted me to tell him what he did, the effects he had on me, and what he's missed. And I haven't been emotional in years since my mum was ill, and God, she's not no more. But I had to deal with that head on. And it was a big thing. Because people see me as like this alpha male, this relentless person, and in the background, sometimes they're not always like that.
Yeah, I think, this is obviously something guys love talking about, is the whole alpha thing, and you can define it in a ton of ways, but nobody's invincible,
Of course,
right? So it's like, you can be alpha all day, but part of leading from the front means you're gonna be the first one to take all the blows. If you're running a business, right, you're the last responsible person, right? So yes, all the good comes your way, but the bad, you're gonna get the worst of it. And so I think most people are afraid of therapy and doing that because they're afraid of what they'll find once they peel back the covers, right? We know, like, I had a very similar thing, right? I had a strained relationship with my father, and it's like, I didn't want to talk to him because I knew I was going to freak out. Like, I was like, I just don't want to do that, right? So it's like, you're really avoiding something instead of just dealing with it, which, definitely isn't alpha behavior. But
of course.
no, I totally resonate that. And I think that's good advice for people like that think that money will solve all their problem. I've done pretty well in life as well. And I can tell you'll be surprised at how still sad and depressed you can get once you've bought like the toys that you wanted 5 years ago. It's like, damn, something's still messed up. I should work on that.
There's so many layers you can go with it, and like so many layers. Like, you can buy nice things, and I love nice things. That's why I do sales. Like, I'm not sugarcoating it. I want to buy the best things and nice things in the world and do the nice things. But my money is best spent on work, on me, on all the things that I do for myself and the people that I engage with and work with, because it just creates a new person. And I think you can become unstoppable, and there's so many limits, there's so many layers to life that you can get to, and people just don't know how to get past the first layer.
So how long did it take you so you had that first interaction with that therapist, right? You tried out some strategies. Sounds like that's a pretty like regimen thing for you now. Is that something you do ongoing? How long did it take you to get to that point, and how did it affect the growth of your business, right? So you said you made your first million at 23? 23. What was your trajectory like through your 20s?
20, 21, I was working for someone else. I become like a global top performer within the whole company, sales business. 22, I set up. 22, I also lost all of my money gambling. I saved all my money to set up my business. I gambled all of it on like online casino.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm like all in or nothing, right? I love a thrill. So that's what I did. And then, but that wasn't going to stop me. That wasn't going to change anything. I still went on. That's the living proof. Like, you don't need much to be successful in life. If you especially master your field, then anything's. Do you know what it is? A lot of people's problem is they just want to do too much. Like, and I wanted to do too much, and my channel was like, tunnel vision. This is going to be your biggest wealth generator you'll ever have. Just focus. And that's what I did. So in my 20s, I got what I want. I bought what I want. I become super successful. I would become very hated. There's a lot of jealous people around me.
Really? Like, for what?
Just like, I feel like it was a new kid coming through the ranks within my industry. Like, I'm 31 years old. I run a multi-million-pound business, a global organization. We're probably one of the most known in what we do. And people get jealous, but I've always had my life has just been like proving people wrong for a long time. But now I've got myself in a position where you can't knock the facts. You can't knock anything that we're doing now. So my 20s have been good, but I feel like my life from like 28 to now has been my best years. I'm just happier. Someone asked me the other day in my team, he's actually my friend as well. He said to me, you've changed so much. You've become such a better person, and you just look, like you're enjoying life. I just said, I just smile more. I'm just happy. Like, and that's not me maturing. It might be a little bit maturing, but I've just done so much work on me to create who I am today.
Yeah. So what pushes you now? So for a long time, right, you definitely were fighting like the haters, you were fighting, kind of the resentment that you had for your father. What pushes you now, right? Because entrepreneurship kind of never dies, right? So I've did pretty well. I worked at a startup, right? So my story in 5 seconds is software engineer, went and did a startup, Silicon Valley, made a chunk of change, was like, okay, what do I do now? Started day trading after that. So all of this is kind of after that. Found my passion. So I was lucky enough to find something that I love to do.
Yeah.
Getting all this stuff, right? And so, but for me, it's like already figured out like how to make money, and it's more so like impact, right? So I'm curious for you, like what are you trying to do with your business? What's your goal? Why more money?
Yeah. So I had this vision of selling for 100 million. That was like my vision, and I wanted it younger than anyone in my industry. So I'm big about recognition.
Okay.
It's massive for me. The reason why I'm big at recognition, because I wasn't recognized for anything when I was young. My dad didn't recognize me for anything. Just wasn't recognized. Like, I didn't do anything great. I have this saying now, like, we want to go for our first like transaction investment in the next 2 years. We're planning to do something very big with that. I like impacting people, but I'm not a charity. You know, I'm not someone who does stuff for free. I'm big about making me a better version, but my goal is to create the best business at what we do in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was said across my business, you know, it's said across, you know, we're here to create something special. I want to be number one. I don't want to compete. I don't want to do anything. And, you know, I want to be known for years in my industry as the best at whatever happened. And, you know, that's the route that we're on. You know, we're on that path of just special vision and mission.
You said recognition in your industry. Is it just that? Is it worldwide recognition? Do you think that's like healthy? You said you understand why you want recognition more than anything else, but like, do you think that is, because this relates back to your childhood, right?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that is like healthy? You know,
I want to be able to retire at 33.
Yeah,
I'd be able to.
Yeah.
And I want to have the recognition for when I do that, as that was the best guy in the last 10 years that's ever done this. From a competence point of view and an exit and transaction point of view. And I've won the awards in my industry of Entrepreneur of the Year. I've done it for Great Britain. I've done it for all these things where people have never done this.
Yeah.
So my goal is to be able to get to a transaction and walk away knowing that I've achieved something out of myself, when the belief was always, I can't. And if I've gone from I can't to this suffering kid to being the best of what he's ever, like, if people recognize this guy as the best in the last 10 years, then that's success for me. You know, that is freedom for me. That is just everything that I've always wished, dreamed for completely. Yeah. And yeah, of course I want to impact people. You know, I'm grateful to create a platform that allows so many people to be successful. I have 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds earning £1 million a year. You don't see that in my industry ever. And I know that what we've done has been through the platform that we've created to get to where we are today. So there's an accumulation of things, of course. You know, I'm going to have multiple millionaires come out of my business. Yeah. Not a lot of companies and people can say that.
Yeah.
You know, so there are a lot of things, but I'm here to prove myself that I can be someone.
So what about after then, right? So let's say you're the most recognized person. It's a fact in your industry. You retire at 33. It's 2 years. I'm 33, so it's not that far away. Then what?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a year out, and I don't want to have another email on my phone again. Like, I'm on my emails 24/7. Like, I wanna travel the world. I wanna go and do very deep things with me. You know,
what do you mean, like deep things?
Deep.
Like what's
very spiritual. I want to go see the monks, for example. I want to do very, very deep things that I can connect to. I want to find myself a little bit. I'm not religious, right? And I don't believe in God, but it doesn't mean that I'm not searching for something. And I've said this to someone before, and I am searching. I just don't know what. I'm very directionless right now, and I'm too busy to do anything else.
Yeah.
You know, I've always said that I want to go to church, and then I don't do it because I'm like, I can't get over that barrier. But I think it's because it's a work barrier at the same time.
You think it's a real barrier, or you think that's...
It's not a barrier. It's the unknown.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't want to be distracted for what I have and see. But post transaction, that year, I just want to go and I just want to search.
Do you ever wonder though that you're kind of postponing this thing that you know you want to do, and then what if once you go and do it, you're like, why didn't I do this 8 years ago?
Of course, but I've only been thinking about it more a year ago. Gotcha. So it's not that long. But yeah, of course. But I'll be young and I'll have a clearer mind to go and search deeper with no distractions, at peace. And that's a big thing for me right now, is peace, is my mental health and whatnot. And I'm on the journey. I'm doing lots of things, you know. I've done psychedelics. I've done all kinds. Like, I'm always searching for something.
Yeah.
It's not because I need to escape. It's because I just want to better myself more. That's what it comes down to.
Let's talk about the psychedelic, because I did, there's actually, it's totally random, but I'm curious about this. So there's like a ketamine therapy clinic here in Miami. So I went and did it. And basically what they do is, it's through like an IV drip, right? And it's supposed to help you, especially if you have like some type of trauma, or if you have anxiety attacks or things like that. And so I did it more just for the experience, to see if there would be like a revelation. And so I only did it one time. I've done psychedelics like recreationally, but that one was more like in a fixed environment. Like they cover your eyes like under a blanket, very cozy, right? And then like your brain just like, I turned into a speck of dust flying through space.
Yeah.
And then like I remember the universe was like collapsing on me, and then I just like forced everything away. That's like the one thing that I remember. So I'm curious kind of like what your experience has been with like exploring psychedelics, and how that's affected you. Like afterwards, and what you took from it.
Yeah. I don't think I was ready when I first done it. And that's what the last guy, I've done various different healing things, you know, but the last guy I worked with, I've done a lot of blockage healing with him. And he just said I wasn't ready. And the other person I spoke to, who also done it was ayahuasca that I done.
Gotcha.
Changed her life. She's a very big influencer and speaker across the world. She's changed her life. She swears by it. Had an opportunity to do it with her, but I didn't. It was just timing wasn't right, and I'm gutted because I felt like I was ready then, but I don't think I was ready before. I didn't think I'd done enough work. I'd done a lot of work. I don't think I'd done enough work on the real deep blockages. I changed my belief and I changed my mindset. I've done all these great things, changed me as a person, but there was still blockages in me. And but I've done a lot of work recently where I'm going to now try DMT.
Okay.
But my first ayahuasca experience was, you can't even put it into words. Like,
tell me about it.
Like, generally, I was saying to my friend after, he was like, how'd it go? I was like, you can't put it into words, the experience that I went through. Like, it's like first night, it was 2 days. So it was intense. It was it was with people you didn't know, and you're thinking, fucking hell, like, these people don't even speak great English. And I'm like, I'd text my friend to say, this is the address, by the way, if you don't hear from me tomorrow. But it was an intense experience. I couldn't get into it for the first day. The second day at the start, I still couldn't get into it. Then he gave me more drink. I went into my own room and I just went through this like fucking spaceship, like different planets. I went through so much. It was this crazy experience. But at the end of it, I've never been so happy. I was smiling for 2 hours and I couldn't control my smile. It was crazy. And there was this like picture in front of me. I don't know if it's a coincidence or whatever it was, because this was an Airbnb. It just said happiness. It was just really like, it was just such a coincidence. But I was smiling for 2 hours, and the feeling that I had after doing that, I've never felt ever.
Yeah.
And I've never been, I used to be a kid that used to be very happy. Then I went to just not happy at all, and people just think I'm angry all the time. So then after this, it changed how I felt. I was just happy inside and out. It was a crazy experience, but I think I can go further with it all. And it fascinates me. It generally does.
So what's your, I guess, so for me, I did it, and it was a one-time, not ayahuasca, but like the ketamine therapy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure how similar they are because I haven't done ayahuasca. They sound kind of similar.
Ketamine therapy, like my coach is a neuroscientist. He talks a lot about it as well, and it's something it's on my list to do.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think I haven't done it in an uncontrolled environment, so like I like the way that they did it. Like they can tell you exactly how long it's going to be, and you know, there's literally like you're in like a medical facility, essentially. So I was very, very, very hesitant at first. But what was interesting to me is like I haven't really had a desire to do it again, which is the most interesting. And I'm not against drugs. I don't know what anyone's stance here is. Like, you know, I stopped drinking this year, for example, just for like health reasons, but like I was a pothead growing up. Like I get why people do things, right? But in terms of like, for my purpose of doing ketamine, was interesting. I had a very like good experience, like you said. Like I really enjoyed the process, but I feel like it's kind of for me. It was something like that was nice. I literally could never do this again, and that would be fine. Like it wasn't something like it wasn't like a roller coaster ride where I was like,
Right.
I want to get back on.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just curious for you, like what are you kind of seeking out of of I guess more therapy, and you know, because for me, I still want to do ayahuasca because I haven't done it, but like
Yeah.
I did the one with ketamine, and I was like, yeah, that was good. It was all, I mean, it was a crazy experience too. That's part of it. I was just like, I don't know how many times I should put my
Yeah.
brain through that, but
No, I was the same. I was like, I can't do this for months, if not a year. Like it was intense. Like the drink, it was just smelt this horrible drink for like 2 weeks. It was like it's intense. That's the word. Like honestly, I must have saw about 20 different planets. Like it was, my body was all it was a crazy experience. I'll be honest.
yeah,
And I thought once when I was actually in there, I thought if my friends saw me on camera right now, they would be, you know, like it was, what am I seeking more? I just want to discover myself more. I want to uncover what I believe things can be limitless in the way that we think and what we do and stuff like that. And I'm fascinated how far I'm about to start, with a coach who's a very, very, very good neuroscientist, because I want to control the way I think with everything. Like I'm in control, but I think I can be even better. I want to be able to walk into rooms, and I'm very good at sales. I can convince people, and I can do all these great things, and I can lead people. But I want to understand the power of influence to the deepest level possible. So I'm fascinated by how far we can take ourselves. And I believe psychedelics will only enhance that
yeah.
if I do it correctly. So yeah, that's I'm just fascinated of how far I can take me and myself and my body.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so for me, like right now, what I don't smoke weed, but like when I work out, I do edibles. And one of the things that I realize is I'll do like half of an edible when I train, and it helps with joint pain, first of all, right? Because I have like arthritis. So try that out. But just like the state of mind. So like being able to control that state of mind within a limit, I think is very powerful, right? So I want to maximize my time in the gym. I'm a busy guy. Like I like working out, but I also can't be at the gym all the time, right? So it's just nice to enjoy the process and do that. And I think being able to do that with work would be ideal as well. So
Close.
if I could know that every single time that I sit down and I'm going to get on a call or have an important conversation with somebody, that I'm going to be in like the absolute best state of mind, you know, it's interesting to think about doing that with more tools than just like straight up willpower, right?
Yeah.
Because you might run out of that.
But that's why you got biohacking, you've got, you know, peptides, or all of these things.
Yeah.
And I do all of it. You know, there's nothing I don't do.
So do you think, has that affected, I guess, at all, like did you turn any of those learnings back into your business after that? Or was it kind of just, that was more personal?
No, not with psychedelics.
Yeah.
No, not yet. I think the next few rounds when I do it, I think it would change the way I act and operate and approach. And look, a lot of people don't, like I was speaking at an event, and this guy is a very black and white, old school. He's from the UK.
Yeah.
It's very straight talking. He was like, I don't want to do it because I don't want to change my intensity. And I was just like, it's not going to do that. I thought, hey, am I going to change the person? I don't want to drop my standards and my quality and my work ethic, but it doesn't do that. You know, I think it just allows you to understand yourself more.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, man. So we talked about retiring. You're going to explore yourself. So you take your year off, you travel the globe. Let's say we come back and, you know, you're 38. Let's say you accomplish everything by 33. 38, you've had the best 5 years. Like, what do you want your life to look like at that point in time?
Family.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't have a family, you know, family. I haven't had like this secure family in my life. So I want to have a family for sure. I want to be happy. I don't want to have a stress in the world. I've worked so hard to create something special for my kids, basically. That's what I want. I want just pure freedom and happiness. Spoken at an event, the last thing I said is it's all about freedom. Everything's about freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom mentally, freedom physically, freedom financially. I don't want to have to worry or think about anything ever again, as I've had to do across the whole of my years. You know, I've been rock bottom and rock bottom again, and I've had no money, and I've been in debt, and I've seen my mum go through the same things, and I don't want that ever again. I've been through a lot, and I want to have the rest of my life. I've worked so fucking hard to get to where I am.
Yeah.
Like relentlessly working hard, and I've done that because of everything that I want to see now moving forward.
Do you think you're gonna be able to turn it off?
Don't get me wrong, I love working. Like I said, I don't like sleeping because I'm always so excited. I'm like, there's so much more I could do today,
Yeah.
and I could stay up, but I just don't because I treat my sleep as massive priority for me. But look, I'll probably always I have my best ideas when I'm not busy. I'm not saying I'm just not busy, but when I'm away from things, I have my best ideas. Like in the shower, going to the gym, all of these things, I will come up with the biggest and best ideas in the time that I can just be at peace, and I'll go again bigger. So no, I won't stop because there's always more you can have in life.
Yeah.
I could spend 100 million like that.
Yeah.
So there's always
I'll sell you something for 100 mil. But no, that's dope, man. It's a question I always ask because you know we spend so much of our time working, we want to retire, and then it's like, well, if we're so well defined by what we do, you're recognized, right? You're seeking recognition for what you did, and you've said that that's core to kind of your desire in life. You know, are you going to be able to step away and pursue, you know, some other kind of core happiness, right? You said you want to be happy, which gives me two questions. Like, one, are you happy now?
Yeah, I would say I'm happy. Yeah, I would say I'm happy. I could be happier. You know, there's elements in my life that I could improve. I could be happier, but I'm working on that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think I'm happy. I'm not like a miserable person. Like I walk in my office with a smile on my face all the time. I'm not like just over friendly person either. I'm an introvert probably. You know, I don't make friends. I don't meet new people. I don't like any of that. But yeah, I would say I'm happy for sure.
Okay. This might be, you can answer whatever way you want to, but what's the biggest detractor from your happiness?
It's a lonely road, you know, what I'm doing. I come to Miami, I don't know no one here. I didn't know anyone here. You know, it can be lonely sometimes for sure. I don't have my family here. You know, I lived at my mum's till I was 27, 28, you know, so and I
Welcome
couldn't-
anytime here, man.
yeah, thank you. But you know, it's not that I couldn't afford it, right? I was living at my mum's with a Bentley, you know, it's not about that. It's about, I'm a family man.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I could never live at my mum's again. I remember when I went back to the UK, I stayed at my mum's for, I went to stay for the whole week. I was like, fuck that. I was out of there in one day. You know, it was horrible because it was like my old bed when I was 16. So I didn't go back there. But yeah, it's a lonely path. But I come here to focus, to commit to myself, to commit to my growth in the business, and it's been a phenomenal journey since we've been here, and there's still so much more we want to do. So yeah, like maybe loneliness.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, I've known Drew for, he's off screen right now, but you know, a little over 10 years, and it's definitely lonely. I mean, even when we share a space, but like we have different businesses. We're working on some stuff together, but you know, my YouTube channel, like building that, learning how to trade, right? That's a solo endeavor, right? Just grinding hours. And I think that's the hardest thing, like fighting that burnout, right? On the road to, like in your case, recognition. It's like, if you stopped at third place, no one would blame you.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be like, dude, you did great, right? Yeah, retire, third place, good job, you know, pack it up. So, yeah, I mean, kudos to you, man. Keep pushing. So I like to end this by asking two questions, but
Sure.
first you can ask me anything and I'll ask my two questions.
Why do you do everything you're doing?
Why do I do everything I do? So there's a few reasons. So one is very cliche. So I grew up broke. I wanted money for a few reasons. But part of it was I fell in love with real estate. There's a theater that I used to go to as a kid. It was like on a historic street in my town. And one day when I was there, I just remember having like this conscious thought of like, oh, somebody owns this theater. Somebody's actually creating this experience for us. Like there's a couple hundred people going to this theater every week. And it's not like, it doesn't just exist. Like someone's operating a business. And so I just wanted to do that. And I realized I needed money. So I like became an entrepreneur in that moment. Bought a sixplex when I was 25 and started doing a bunch of other stuff. But I think teaching people became important. I had a few, I think like core experiences in my 20s. One of my friends passed away. A few other people passed away. I had the opportunity, I don't know how else to call it, but I had not people that I knew, but other people passed away, and I was in a position to be able to help like cover their funeral cost, and it wasn't a problem, right? Like I could just like, someone was like, hey, I don't have enough money, and I could do that. I realized that money for me is a way to just make people's lives easier. Like I can make my life easier. I can buy nice stuff, right? I'm a car guy. Love that. That's cool. But very similarly, like when my startup got acquired, that made me a millionaire. And then I was like, cool, I did the thing. What do I do now? So, but I'm a very creative person. So it's just, for me, impact is a big part of it. It became more important for me, less about legacy, right? And more about right now. It's like, can I go and help like one person tomorrow and just make their
That
life
is legacy.
It could be. It
You'll
could
be
be.
recognized for that.
Yeah, it could be. But maybe, well, I'm not going to say I don't like recognition because I have a YouTube channel. I do like it. So that's a part of it. But yeah, impact, I think. And I think just using my time here, right? For me, I always think about how long I have left to live, which kind of sounds bad maybe, but to me, it's motivating. Like I literally wake up and I'm like, I'm 33 years from now, I'll be 66. Like, damn. So like I need like today really matters. Like tomorrow really matters because soon I'll be 40, then I'll be 50, and I'm probably not going to be as energetic now at 40. I'll still be pretty energetic. I'm an athletic guy. So that's what motivates me. There's a basket of reasons, and it's evolved as I've gotten older and I've experienced more things. But a lot of it is just helping people, like empowering people to help themselves. A lot of people just need, like they're ready to go, but they don't know what to do. So it's like, we'll do this. And so I try to do that as much as I can.
So this is like the question I've been asking myself, just last question is, people, I always say like, why me? Like why, you said you earn $1 million. That's a fucking great achievement, right? So why do you think you did that if you come from nothing?
Part of it was being in the right place at the right time, but I also think you can create your own luck, So in terms of just like why me, I'd say I just made the consecutive series of the right decisions. I'm very risky. Like I'm willing to take risks. That's why I'm a day trader, right? So like if I lost all my money tomorrow, I wouldn't be worried. I'd be mad for like a little bit, but I wouldn't be worried, like because I can make money. And I enjoy that process. So to me, it's just, I'm the type of person who's like, when I see, because I was working a normal job, like I was working at Boeing for a little bit, then I went and did something else, then I went to a startup that only had like a little over 12 months of runway. For anybody who doesn't know, is like funding. So it's like, if we don't keep selling, I was in sales. If we don't keep selling, like we're just out of money, can't pay payroll, like business goes under, that's business, right? It's different from working at a Fortune 500 where it's like, they're not going out of business anytime soon, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know why me. I think I attribute a lot of it to myself being, I think I can identify the place to be to get lucky, right? I know if I stand over there, I'm likely to get called on. But whether they call on me or not, it's not up to me, right? It's a little bit of luck. So, but yeah, the two questions that I like to ask are, what's your biggest fear? It's the first one.
It was death.
Yeah.
But I've overcome that now. I used to think about it every night.
Really?
I couldn't get it out of my head. Yeah, I was just like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So I thought about, and changed my perception. A lot of people probably fear death as well. Like it's a common thing. And I used to think about every single day. So if anyone is watching this, then it was actually my therapist to help me with this. She said, instead of thinking about that, why don't you worry about maximizing your life of what you're doing today and celebrating and doing everything you possibly can to create something, to be something and do something. So it really changed. And I don't even think about it now, which is crazy. But fear now is could be a lot of things. Like I do fear failure, to be honest with you. I don't think I'll ever be a failure. I've failed multiple times. It's a tricky one. I don't fear a lot anymore. I'm a big risk taker.
Yeah.
So if I feared things all the time, I wouldn't take the risk. I take risks because I don't fear much. I've had so many things going on in my life, and I've just got like a don't give a fuck mentality. Nothing, no one can stop me, can phase me. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and it doesn't matter how I get it done, I will get it done.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Love that. And it got to end it on a positive note. So what are you most excited about?
I'm excited to everything that I've got going on, like I've dreamed of. I'm living in my dream now. I'm living in the vision. I'm living in the mission now. I'm most excited about these next 2 years. Like we'll go for our first ever event that we've ever been for as a business. I'm excited. I've got 25 shareholders in there right now.
Nice.
We'll probably grow that to maybe 40 shareholders. I'm excited about the impact that my business is going to make on so many people. We've created something where it's like the go-to company to work for now. And I'm excited for these next 2 years because it's going to be a massive wealth generator for a lot of people. And it's weird because I'm just like, I created that, you know?
Yeah.
And this is why I go back to the point of like, why me? Like, how have I created that? Like, I've created a business. It was my name that I thought of one day at 22 years old. And it's now a business that's going to create many millionaires 8 years later. It's just, that it excites me. It gets me up every single day, raring to go. And that's what I'm most excited about.
I love that, man. Where can people find you?
Jamie Fraser ____.
Dope. And is there anything, I guess, last word, anything coming up, something that people should know?
No, just my content's getting better and better on my Instagram. I inspire more people. My reach is getting bigger all the time, and it's not going to slow down. You know, I've had to stay quiet about a few things because of everything we're doing with the business, but my Instagram is going to get more and more direct as we go, but in a positive way. I get a lot of love. I always thought I'd get hate. I never get hate, very rarely. And I'm grateful for that, right? I inspire so many people, so just keep on following me and I'll keep on impacting.
I appreciate you, man. Jamie Fraser, everybody. Thank you for checking into this episode of The Macro Show with your host, Forrest. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out Jamie by clicking the link down below, and let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments. See you in the next one. Peace.
I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's fast.